Welcome, history fanatics, to Mrs. Heron's video playlist, where you will get the best of the best in social studies.
We're beginning with Unit 1, Where in the World Map Skills. The unit goal is analyze various types of maps of differing complexities. It includes Part 1 from Core Concepts, which is Tools of Geography, and Part 3 from Core Concepts, Climates and Ecosystems. Alright, we're beginning this unit with Climates and Ecosystems, Part 3, Section 1, Climate and Weather. The guiding question this section is, how would you describe your region's climate?
Our weather is an interconnected system. Small changes in one place create surprising results in others. Powerful storms, widespread fires, rising waters, collapsing glaciers.
The severe weather that you just witnessed is a result of weather. Weather is defined as the condition of the air and sky at a certain time. It is constantly changing based on the sun, moisture in the air, the position of the planet, atmospheric pressure, and temperature. For example, take a look at this beautiful couple. It's the happiest day of their lives, but I'm sure they would not have chosen this date if they had known that the weather was going to change so suddenly on them. One moment it is sunny and blissful, then the next they are hit with high winds and a massive dust storm. This unpredictability is what makes weather, well, weather. This is quite the opposite of climate. Climate is the average weather of a place recorded over a long period of time. I bet the bride from the last video chose her wedding date based on climate, meaning she likely thought that this day would be decent because it is typically nice weather in July, even though July may still have some bad days. Climate is predictable and does not change very often. Some weddings get another form of weather.
It's like rain on your wedding day.
Rain. Rain is one of the many types of precipitation, or water that falls from the sky to the ground. Others include sleet, hail, and snow. Do you remember when you were younger and your parents made you bundle up in so much clothing during the winter that you looked like a traveling Goodwill? That was because the temperature was cold.
What is it?
I can't put my arms out.
Temperature measures how hot or cold the air is. Combined, temperature and precipitation determine the weather and climate. To map climate and for geographers to begin to see patterns in the weather, they use a tool called a climate graph. Here's one for Oklahoma in 2013. Does it look pretty accurate? The key will tell us that blue bars were rainfall for each month, while the red bars indicate the average rainfall over the past 30 years. The green line that goes across the graph was the temperature, and the yellow line was the average temperature. Now, while they don't match 100%, the weather in 2013 was pretty consistent with the climate for Oklahoma over the past 30 years. But who cares, right? Well, you, hopefully, because if you ever plan to travel, you're going to need to know what clothes to pack for the climate. And if you ever plan a trip or an activity, you need to watch the weather to make sure you don't end up like our bride did. The fact is, we all need to know the difference between climate, weather, temperature, and precipitation, because it affects us every single day of our life. To review, we discussed climate and weather in this section, weather being the condition of air and sky at a certain time, climate being the average weather over many years, usually 30, precipitation being water that falls to the ground as rain, temperature, or the measure of how hot or cold the air is, and climate graphs. I will see you next time as we move on to an entire section on temperature.